Hi, welcome to TeaFairy Storytime. Look, my antennas are not standing up right. I have two antennas. Today's stories. I have a couple of them, so I'm going to read them and do individual videos. This is Child of Faerie, Child of Earth by Jane Yolen and illustrated by Jane Dyer. And the illustrations are beautiful. Child of Faerie, Child of Earth by Jane Yolen, illustrated by Jane Dyer. Adam and Betsy, wayfarers in Faerie, and to Vivian who carries the light. And I will put in the comments where you can find copies of this book. He was a child of fairy folk, a child of sky and air, and she was a child of humankind, of earth and toil and care. They met in the dusk of Hallow's Eve, when windows grieve, in windows weave. They met in the dark of Hallow's Eve. She had flowers in her hair. And where do you go, O child of earth? Here, you can see the little boy here. Oh, why do you wander here? Are you not afraid of the fairy race whose castles are so near? My mamma says there's no such thing as fairy wing and elven ring. She says there's never been such thing, and I should have no fear. He took her by her dirt-soiled hand and led her to his hall. He showed her brownies and bogles and sprites and elven folk and all. She ate the grass, she drank the dew, the fairy brew of rainbow hue. She danced all night with the elven crew and didn't sleep at all. Oh, stay with me, dear human child. Become a child of night. We'll dance between the hollow hills, bedecked in candlelight. And ever after Halloween, clothed all in green, my fairy queen, you'll be the loveliest ever seen, the elven court's delight. Maybe I should have read this at Halloween. She looked around the fairy hall, beneath the hollow hill, and all the glamour round her spun to bend her to his will. But with a sigh she shook her head. That's not my bread and drink, she said. I cannot on your food be fed, and still my needs fulfill. Isn't she beautiful? Look at that illustration. I just love her. But since I've danced with you this night, this day you dance with me. She took him by his grass-green sleeve and led him over the lea. She led him down the farmyard road, past meadows mowed and garden hoed, and led him over the human road, and full of awe was he. See them going into the human world? And he's got his fairy wings. They stroked the cat, they milked the cow, they fed each chicken and hen. He marveled at the sounds and smells of barn and yard and pen. He drank cold milk and ate brown bread. He made a bed, he cleaned a shed. He followed everywhere she led, then round about again. See them feeding the chickens? And here they are milking the cow. Here you can see the little field. Here they are working. Oh, stay with me, dear fairy child, and live here on the land. We'll till the soil, we'll plough the field, we'll harvest hand in hand. The night is fair, but day is best, so be my guest, forget the rest. And on her suit she pressed, with strong and sure demand. She wanted him to stay with her. Here you can see the fall leaves. It's becoming fall in the human world. He looked around the human world, a world of gold and brown, a world where farmyard turns to village, village into town, a world of colors pure and bright, of open sight, of warm sunlight, unlike the shadowed world of night, of moon and thistle down. See the nighttime? Here he is out in the nighttime thinking. He thought about the fairy halls, the fairy queens and kings. He thought about the cold, cold stars that shone on fairy rings. I miss my own. I cannot stay. You work. I play. I must away. I'll keep the night and you the day. He stretched translucent wings. He has to go. And here he is, sitting on a rock thinking. And here she is with the cow, and there's a horse in the background, and some chickens down below. Oh wait, she cried to him. At least a gift I'll give, remembering you that here above is where a friend does live. And through the daylight world again, past denizen of dark and pen, she tracked past horse and cow and hen to find a gift to give. What do you think the gift is? Can you see it? At last she found a fresh hen's egg, a gift from humankind, so he'd remember earth and toil when he'd left both behind. Then in return he touched the shell, and with a spell of fare thee well, extracted from that fragile shell a feather to remind. Here's the feather. Here's the young fairy man giving her the feather. I give you this that comes from that, the fairy child replied. That egg and feather both shall serve as token and as guide, that we may both go arm in arm and fear no harm, nor take alarm when visiting in hall or farm or other lands beside. Here they are when they're older and even older. The gifts they exchanged, they each went back to homes they loved full well, but now and then they visited, helped by a fairy spell. And though the years flew quickly past, they were friends fast from first to last, which left all skeptics flabbergasted at how they did so well. So, if one lucky Hallow's Eve you hear the night birds sing, and see a child of fairy guise with bright and gauzy wing, a flutter in a moment glade, and all arrayed in silver shade, be bold, be brave, be unafraid, and join that fairy ring. Jane Yolen is the award-winning author of more than 150 books for children, including The Girl in the Golden Bower, illustrated by Jane Dyer, which publishes weekly, called An Altogether Memorable Book in a Starred Review. She is also the author of Letting Swift River Go, illustrated by Barbara Cooney, Off We Go, and Raising Yoder's Barn. Jane Yolen and her husband divide their time between a 100-year-old farmhouse in Hatfield, Massachusetts, and a house called Wayside in Scotland. Jane Dyer is the illustrator of I Love You Like Crazy Cakes and Blue Moon Soup, as well as the creator of the best-selling Animal Crackers. She has illustrated numerous other picture books, including Here Is My Heart, Love Poems by William J. Smith, and Talking Like the Rain, a read-to-me book of poems selected by X.J. and Dorothy Kennedy. She lives with her husband and 2 daughters in Northampton, Massachusetts, and works in a studio overlooking her garden. If you like this book, you will also enjoy The Girl in the Golden Bower by Jane Yolen, illustrated by Jane Dyer, Tinker and Tom and the Star Baby by David McPhail, Custard the Dragon, and The Wicked Knight by Ogden Nash, illustrated by Lynn Munsinger. Ooh, I like her illustrations. So this one was called Child of Fairy, Child of Earth. And it is just a beautiful book. The illustrations are just gorgeous. Go find a copy of it as soon as possible. I'm pretty sure you can find it on Amazon, but I will look and find links of other locations as well. And I will put them in the messages down below here on YouTube. And then I will share this video to Facebook as well. Find me on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, which is TeaFairy and Friends Storytime and Adventures. You can also find me on Facebook in a page and a group, same name, TeaFairy and Friends Storytime and Adventures. And now I have a podcast, which is called TeaFairy Storytime. Just TeaFairy one word, Storytime, one word, podcast, one word. And it's on Spotify and Google and Apple Podcasts and a variety of others that I have not memorized all of the locations, and I will, I promise. But that will be down in the comments below as well, and all the links that you need. Hope to see you soon. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good day. Bye.